My name's KushiKush, and I'm going to be looking at the red cards included in Brothers of Legend. Now, I've already done the previous black, white, and blue, and you can find them on my channel or in the description down below, but for now, I'm going to be doing the red cards. So, looking at the red cards, we're starting off with Arms Race, 4 mana enhancement. So for 4 mana, you may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay. This artifact gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. That's kind of cool. I mean, it costs 4 mana to cast, and then it costs an additional 4 mana to actually use its effect. It's difficult, because what if you put like a really strong artifact, that one that costs like 12 mana, and then you just summon it for like 4 mana? I think it's kind of cool, but then again, like the artifact dies at the beginning of your next end step. I don't know. I don't know much about artifact decks, but that card seems interesting. Bitter Reunion, 2 mana enhancement. When Bitter Reunion enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards for 2 mana? What? That's kind of good. Sacrifice Bitter Reunion. Creatures you control gain haste. What? Okay, I may be wrong, but this card's kind of insane, right? You discard 1, you draw 2. It's only 2 mana. That's like a good effect on its own. And then it has an additional effect, like it stays on the field, and you can just make all your monsters gain haste, so you can like push for damage. Now, usually in red decks, all the monsters already have haste. So maybe this card can make you like build a different kind of red deck, so you can include monsters that don't have haste, but very powerful effects. It's a cool card. Brother's End. Oh wow. 3 mana, sorcery. Brother's End deals 3 damage to each creature and each point for 3 mana? 3 damage to everything? That's a board wipe. Destroy our artifacts with mana value 3 or... Okay, again, excuse me if I'm wrong. This card is literally a board wipe for 3 mana. Does red even have a board wipe for 3 mana? I know they have Burn Down the House for 5 mana, but that is... I mean, it's not a complete board wipe. If they have like 4 defense, it's not going to kill them. But, like, dude, that's kind of... Okay, that's kind of sick. Red has some good cards. Next up, we got Constipated Infantry. When this card dies, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. So it's 3 mana, it's a 3/1. It kind of floats. Nah, like I feel like if you're going to be playing 3 mana, you better get a card that's extremely good. This card's literally, oh yeah, when it dies you get a token. Like, who cares? Draconic Destiny. 3 mana, enhancement auto. Enchanted creature gains 1/1 and has flying haste. Okay. And for 1 mana, this creature gets another 1 attack, and it's a dragon in addition to its other types. When the enhanced creature dies, return this card. Whoa. Okay, so I was just thinking like, hey, this seems like a pretty good support card for dragons, right? Like, it makes some dragons. Maybe you can do some cool gimmicky stuff with that. The last part is effect. When the monster dies, return it to your hand. That's a little insane. This is infinite. Cards that are infinite like that in Yu-Gi-Oh get banned, that you don't get to play them. So that's a little interesting. Dwarven Forge Chanter, 2 mana, ward, pay 2 life. Okay, so he has ward. All right, prowess. What is that? So this dwarf wizard is 2 mana, and pretty much it has ward. It's a 1/3, and then whenever you cast a spell, it gets a little bigger until the end of the turn. So you can get like 2/4, maybe like 3/5. It's kind of cool. I think it's really cool if you run a bunch of like really low level, maybe in like a fire water deck where you run like blue spells that are like 1 mana cost that get you other blue spells. Then this guy can like get boosted up really quick. That's the only way I see this card actually being like good and viable. Excavation Explosion, 3 mana. It's a sorcery. When this card deals 3 damage to any target. Okay, for 3 mana, that's terrible. Create a tapped Power Stone token. No wonder. I mean, I don't know how good Power Stone tokens are because I haven't seen them like at all. I've been playing Magic a little bit these past couple days, and Brothers has been out for a while, but I've never seen a Power Stone token. So I think this card is trash. No offense. The Fall of Krug. 6 mana. Choose target opponent. Destroy target land that... What? The Fall of Krug deals 3 damage to that player and 1... Okay, in my head, I read that as you destroy all their land. And if you did that for 6 mana, you just win the game. Like, there's no coming back from that. But you can destroy 1 land, right? Destroy target land. And then it deals 3 damage to that person and 1 damage to each creature they control. 6 mana to deal 1 damage to every monster and 3 damage to them and get rid of a land. That's a stinker. I don't think that's a very good. Trash. Balaji, Chain Dancer. 4 mana. Human. For 2 mana, this card gains double strike. But it's a no, I'm not feeling it. Mainly because it's 4 mana already. Yeah, its stats are okay, 2, 4, but for 4 mana, its stats could be way better than that. It gains double strike. It's not worth it. That card's a stinker. Feldon Roman, Excavator, 2 mana. Legendary creature, cool. It has haste, okay. Cannot be blocked. Those cards are really good. Cannot be blocked. I know the fishies, these fishy tokens have cannot be blocked, and like I hate those. Whenever Feldon is dealt damage, exile that many cards from the top of your library. Choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Huh. Does he still exile cards off the top of his library if he's dealt enough damage and dies? So let's say somebody uses a spell that deals 3 damage to him and he has 2 health. And he takes, he goes to -1, right? Do you still exile 3 cards from the top of your deck? Because if you do, he's actually quite useful. But you have to like play around him. It's a little difficult. But I think he's pretty good. I like him. Giant Cinder Maw, 3 mana. Trample, players can't gain health. What? His stats are amazing for 3 mana. It's a 4/3. Those are good stats. And the players can't gain health is kind of good because it kind of counters some strategies that are good against fire. Because fire is like you want to burn them, like you want to deal as much damage as quickly as possible, right? This is like, yeah, you're not going to gain any life. All the life you lost. I like him. This card's actually kind of weird because I like Giant Cinder Maw. I do. It's kind of like a vanilla, but I still like it. It's cool. Goblin Blast Runner, 1 mana. Goblin Blast Runner gains 2 attack and has Menace as long as you sacrifice a permanent this turn. The thing is, if he was 1/1, he'd be garbage, but he's a 1/2, and then he can get boosted to a 3/2. So he has potential. A 3/2 drop for 1 mana, but he doesn't have haste. I'm not feeling it. If he had haste, I think he would be good. I think a lot of people would play him if he had haste, but he doesn't, so he's kind of a stinker. Horned Stone Seeker, 2 mana. Menace. When this card enters the battlefield, create a Power Stone token. Really? When this card leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a Power Stone token. For 2 mana, you get a Power Stone token and you get a 2/2 monster with Menace. That is really good. That is genuinely really, if you're playing an artifact deck, this is your card. This is your early drop. That is a good one. Mechanized Warfare, 3 mana. Enhancement. If a red or artifact you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1. So they do 1 more damage. For 3 mana though, man, this could have been like a 2 or a 1 mana drop. Like for 3 mana, it doesn't feel that good. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think this card's a stinker. Mishra, Excavation Prodigy, 3 mana. Has haste. Okay, I like that. But it's 3 mana and it's a 2/1. 1 mana tap. Discard a card, draw a card. Well, you're paying 1 mana and you're tapping it. Come on, bro. That's too much. Whenever you discard 1 or more artifacts, add 2 mana. This ability triggers only. So essentially, if you discard an artifact, you gain 1 mana because you paid 1 mana to activate this. That's kind of bad. That's not kind of bad. That's really bad because she costs 3 mana to cast originally. No, I'm not feeling that. That's a bad card. Dude, if I'm paying 3 mana to cast Mishra, I'd rather summon out Giant Cinder Maw. Like, look at his stats. It's just way better. Mishra's Command. X1 Fire. Choose 2. Okay, so all the colors have these type of sorcery cards. Choose target player. They may discard up to X cards, then they draw a card for each card discarded this way. Oh. Meh. This spell does X damage to target creature. This spell does X damage to target planeswalker. Why didn't it just say target permanent? Okay. Both those effects are meh. Target creature gets +X attack and gains haste. No, I'm still not feeling it. I think the last effect is like the better of all the effects. I mean, the second one where you deal damage to a creature is kind of good too. Kinda. No, this card seems like a big stinker. I wouldn't run it. Mishra's Command is garbage. Mishra's Domination, 2 mana. Enhance creature. As long as you control enhanced creature, it gets 2/2, otherwise it can't block. Oh, so it can be offense or defense. Ah. So for 2 mana, your monster gets 2/2. I like that. I really like that. because not only can you use this as like offense, oh, you want to deal more damage or you want to get over a monster or even like more defense, you can protect yourself, but you can also just make your like a thingy, your opponent not block, and you can just go for damage. I really like that card. That's a cool one. Mishra's Onslaught, 4 mana. Choose one. Create 2 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. Creatures you control get +2 until the end of the turn. Ooh, I really like that last effect. The +2, but for 4 mana? And it's not even a continuous, it's just an instant, it's a 1? Ah, nah, bro, come on. You were so close to me. If this was an enhancement, imagine. Every turn you can do one of these. That would be insane. 4 mana, nah, that's bad. Get out of here. Monastery, Swift Spear, 1 red mana. Haste, Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this monster gets bigger. It's like the dwarf, but it has haste. I really don't think she's bad. Interesting card. Monastery is very interesting. I think I would maybe run it in a low fire control. I'm not entirely sure what it's called in the meta, but it's like where you play like the 1, 2, 3 fire cards and you just like beat down your opponent and burn them. I think I would play her in that. Obliterate Bolt, 2 mana. Sorcery. This card deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and if it dies, exile it. 2 mana, you do 4 damage. That is good, right? I don't think there's that many cards in the game. I've seen some cards that are 2 mana do 3 damage, and it banishes them or exiles them. I like that card. That's a good one. But it's a sorcery, it's not instant. I didn't think of that. You can't use it during your opponent's turn, but you do 1 extra damage. I still like it. I still very much like this card, even though it's not an instant. I think it's genuinely good. Over the Top, 7 mana. Sorcery. Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library equal to the number of non-land permanents they control. Put all permanents they revealed this way onto the battlefield. Put the rest into what? For 7 mana? That's insane. This card is insane. Whoa. If you can play a multicolored deck that can just spam out spells easy. I think there was this like blue spell. I forgot what it was called. But it's like you can play spells off the top of your deck. Imagine you're playing red-blue. And then you play that card and then you play this off the top of your deck. Now you just got a bunch of free cards. You got like 3 or 4 cards for free onto the battlefield. You didn't pay mana for them. That's insane. But each player does it. Your opponent does it too. I think it's still really good. If you can figure out a way to keep your opponent off a bunch of cards, I think this card's just too good. I think it's very good. I think it's genuine. There's so many possibilities with Over the Top that it just makes this card excellent. Even though it does benefit your opponent, and I absolutely hate cards that benefit the opponent because I hate giving the opponent resources. Still, this is a good card. Like really good. You can make it work, and you can make it work hard. Pendragon Strong Bull, 3 mana. Sacrifice an artifact. This card gets 1/1 until the end of the turn. Deal 1 damage to each opponent. For 3 mana, it's a 2/3. It can get boosted to a 3/4. Nah, that's not a good card. Pyrrhic Blast, 4 mana. Instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Okay. This card deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Draw a card. But you're paying 4 mana. No! If this was maybe 3 or 2, 3 would be still too much. 2 is like, okay, I can see it. 4, bad card. Raise to the ground, 3 mana. This spell can't be countered. Okay. Wow, that's okay. I like the can't be countered. Destroy target artifact. If its mana value was 1 or less, draw a card. What? That okay, bro. That card sucks. Even against an artifact deck, it's only really useful against an artifact with 1 or less, so like a token or something. And then at that point, it's like you destroy something that's not even worth destroying, and then you draw a card, but you're paying 3 mana. Like, come on. Rock Hunter, 2 mana. Creature, human soldier. Reach. It's 3/1. No, it's a vanilla. But it's 3/1. If it was 3/2, maybe. But 3/1, not feeling it. Sardion Cliff Stomper, 2 mana. As long as it's your turn and you control 4 or more mountains, Sardion gets X, where X is the number of mountains you control. Really? Well, I'm about to say that's amazing. But imagine you're playing like a low fire deck, right? And then you're gonna be winning the game at like 4 or 5 mountains anyway. So this guy's gonna be 4 or 5. But imagine you just summon him with 2 mountains. He's gonna be a 2/4 or a 2-drop. Now that's a little insane if you ask me. This guy's great. This is a great card. No matter what way I look at it, he's great. He's always gonna be great. Now he would be amazing if he had like reach, menace, and maybe not haste. Haste would make him too good. But if he had something else, he would be amazing. But right now he's great. He's solid. Sibling rivalry. 4 mana. Sorcerer, gain control of target artifact or creature. Ooh. Okay. Untap it. Okay. It gains haste until the. Okay. Create a tapped power. Oh my god. And okay. I like that card. Not only do you steal their monster, it gets haste, so it can attack even if it has like summoning sickness or summoning stick, or the thing where you can't attack when it's summoned. But you also get a power stone token, like in addition, like it's just like an extra. It's like an extra bonus on top. Yeah, just take this. Here, you can have it. A great card. I want to say it's amazing, but I don't know how powerful Power Stone tokens are. But this is one of the best cards that generates a Power Stone token I've ever seen. That is very good. Tomakul, Scrap Smith, 3 mana. When this card enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Okay. You may put an artifact from among them cards into your hand. If you don't, this guy gets a counter. Stinker. You're paying 3 mana for this. If he's a 2/1, maybe if he was like 2/3 or maybe a 3/2, but man, like his stats are so low, and even if he got bigger, it wouldn't even matter because literally a 1 or 2 drop can get rid of him, so it's not good. Tyrant of Kier Ridges, 6 mana, flying. When this card enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to any target. I like that. Tyrant of Ridges gets 1 until the end of the turn. Oh, and he can get boosted too. He's 6 mana for a 4/5, but he does have flying and he can get bigger. I think this card's a little scary, but if the game is getting to the point where you drop a 6-drop, it might be a little too. I like him. I like this dragon card. I think it's a cool dragon card. I don't have a dragon deck, but if I did, I would probably put him in maybe at like 1 or 2 copies, just because he has the potential. When you summon him for 6, he's gonna have 4/5, but then next turn he attacks, right? And then if your opponent doesn't block, you can just boost him by paying the 6 mana, and then he's going to be 10/5, and you can just go for game. So he has a lot of potential. He's a little scary. Unleash Shell, 5 mana. Unleash Shell deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and 2 damage to that permanent's controller. You're paying 5 mana for this, bro. No, not for 5 mana. What are you talking? For 5 damage? Hell no. Visions of Phyrexia. I've seen a Phyrexian card before. 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Oh, it's continuous. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't play a card from exile this turn, oh wow. That's amazing. So you either played the card off the top of your library, so it's like an additional draw, or if you didn't want to play that card, you kind of get a Power Stone, which is like a free land, like an extra mana. Good card. It's 4 mana, but I think that's kind of fair at 4 mana. Whirling Strike, 2 mana. Instant. Target creature gets 2 and 0 and gains first strike and trample until the end of the turn. Now, if it was double strike, I would be so behind this card. I would go like, oh, this card's amazing. This is like one of the better cards in the entire set. It's first strike. Like, okay. That's it. There's another card. It's like this dude, and he's like bullying this other kid. And it's like you gain like 4/3. Yeah, you don't gain first strike or trample, but you gain like better stats. Nah, this card's a stinker. Blitz Amaratron, 7 mana, or it's a prototype, so you can just summon it for 3. It has haste. So for 3 mana, you can summon a 3/2 with haste. Is that good? I think there's 2 mana drops that are 2/2 that have haste that can get bigger. So, but this guy's also an artifact. Interesting. This guy has potential. He does have potential just because he has haste, which means that you can do an artifact beatdown deck where you run like low cost artifacts and you just beat them down. Balaji Dragon Engine, 8 mana, or prototype, 1/3. Flying, okay. For 2 mana, this card gets 1 attack until the end of the turn. I don't like it. No, like, I know flying is OP because it can only be blocked with reach or other flyings. But like, come on, bro. This reminds me of the dragon that's up there, except you're paying 8 mana for this, and the dragon up there, I think it's like 6 mana, right? Yeah, and then the other guy is like essentially the same pay mana effect, but it's like 1 less. This guy's worse. Heavyweight Demolisher, 7 mana. Menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap this card unless you pay 3. Garbage. Unearth it, bring it back. Its stats are cool. It's cool stats, but it's a bad card. I think it's a bad card. Mishra's Juggernaut, 5 mana. Trample. Mishra's Juggernaut attacks each combat if able. And then Unearth for 6 mana. It's a 5/3, 5 mana. It has Tramp. I think they made the artifact so weak because of how easy it is to get the Power Stones, right? So you can like summon these guys out very easy. But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to summon these guys out then? If you're gonna make them so weak, why would you even want to play them? Like, that's how I'm feeling. The cards just seem like so bad. It's like, even if I could summon it for 1 or 2 or 3 mana, like, why would I? They just seem so bad. Mishra's Research Desk, 1 mana. For 1 mana, you sacrifice this card, exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. Until the end of the next turn, you may play that card. So for 1 mana, you activate this card. In another mana, you get to look at the top 2 cards and do that. So essentially 2 mana to use that effect. But then, at a later turn, you can just pay 2 mana plus 1, so essentially 3 mana, and do the effect again at a later turn. It doesn't seem bad. It's just, you're paying a lot of mana. Maybe if the Unearth was 1 mana, like 1 fire mana, I think I would like it more. Because then it would have more versatility. Because by that time, you should be playing like better cards, I feel like. Scrapwork Mutt, 2 mana. When this card enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Wow, good effect. Yeah. Unearth and you bring it back. No, I like this card. For 2 mana, it's a 2/1 drop, but it's a discard draw. It's an artifact, which means you can use your tap Power Stone tokens. Also, it comes back from the graveyard. The only thing missing on it is haste. Imagine if it had haste. That'd be cool. Sticker Beam Battalion, 9 mana. Or Prototype for 5. 2/2! You're paying 5 mana for this. The effect better be damn good. Trample, haste. When Skitter Beam Battalion enters the battlefield, if you cast it, create 2 tokens that are a copy of... Okay, my brain is... What is going on? So when you play this card, you get essentially 3 copies of it. You get the original and 2 tokens, and all of them have trample and haste. So for 5 mana, essentially you get 3 copies of 2/2s, right? I think that's good, because for 5 mana, you're getting a 6/6 that has trample and haste. I kind of like it. Yeah, and I like it. I like the card. It's interesting. And with that, that's it. I'll be doing the green next time. I hope everybody, at the time of recording, it's Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. And I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support. I do know, and I have realized that my Magic videos don't get as much attention as my Yu-Gi-Oh ones, but I still like putting out Magic just because I want to put out content that I genuinely want to enjoy on YouTube. YouTube to me is more something that like I want to enjoy and like put out things that I find interesting. And whether I get a comment on a video that has only like 50 views, I want to make videos that I think would be cool. And sometimes the views are pretty cool, but I genuinely do enjoy making just videos for people who just like want to see more videos like it. The reason I'm saying this is because my Magic videos mainly only get like 50 to like 100 views, like very, very little compared to my Yu-Gi-Oh. But I still like making Magic videos because, dude, look at this. Magic is really cool. And I want to be able to share it, whether it be to a Yu-Gi-Oh player, a Vanguard player, a Magic player, or somebody who doesn't even play card games at all. This would be kind of enjoyable if you do like this type of stuff like I do, because I'm kind of a nerd. And I mean, I might be calling you a nerd too, I don't know. Anyways, I'm just rambling. I hope you have a great day or night, and thanks for watching the video. Consider hitting that like button if you haven't, and I'll catch you later. Peace.